Hi, so I just wanted to quickly talk about nutrition for hockey and how you can schedule your nutrition through the week. You have the best energy, and so you're in the best place come Saturday for game day. Basically, starting on say like a Friday night, you want to be looking at having quite a high carbohydrate meal, lots of protein in there, a little bit of fat as well. So something like nice big jacket potato, pasta, those sorts of things. Foods that we typically know are quite high in carbs. Then comes Saturday morning, so obviously depending on when your game is, you want to be looking at sort of 2 to 3 hours before a game. Again, having something quite high in carbs again. So if your game's around lunchtime, you might want to look at having quite a large amount of cereal or a big bowl of porridge. Or again, you could have something typical like sort of big bowls of pasta. If you want to make your own homemade chips, that sort of thing, potatoes. Stuff like that is good because that's then going to have like a bit of a slow release energy effect. Plus, you're already pretty stored up from carbs and stuff from the night before, and then you have those carbs that will just slowly release throughout the game. With that, again, you want to have like a moderate amount of protein, nothing too high because protein can take a little bit longer to digest than the carbs do. And then fats, you want to keep them quite low before the game as well because again, they take a bit longer to digest and you don't want your body and your stomach trying to mess around with fats and stuff when it wants to be fueling your muscles with energy. So, and then getting closer to the game, so all through this time you want to be nicely hydrated as well, drinking plenty of liquids, and then that'll slowly, with the kind of 2 hours running up to your game, slowly just taper those liquids down so you're just sipping away, because the last thing you want is to be having a pee 5 minutes before the game and then 5 minutes into the game. So, about half an hour before the game, you want to be looking at taking on some more sort of like sugary type things. So, whether this is fruit, whether this is a chocolate bar, a few sweets, something like that, something with a bit of a faster sugar release than something more typical like you'd have in a main meal. And again, you want to completely cut out the fats now. Pretty much, you want to completely keep the protein down low as well. So, so if you're having a chocolate bar, there are going to be a few fats in there, but we're really looking at that kind of sugar content as well. So, moving on to the game, sipping all the way through the game with water and that sort of thing. So, keeping your fluid levels topped up as best as you can. Obviously, it's not you're not going to be maintaining hydration throughout the game. You just want to be keeping it topped up. Now moving on, so we're at half time. You want to be looking at getting on some quick sugars again, just to try and replenish what energy we can in the short amount of time we have during the half-time whistle, or say you're off the pitch as well during the second half. So a handful of sweets like jelly babies, wine gums, that sort of thing, or maybe something more sugar-based like fruit if you want to be more like that. So like oranges, maybe a banana, something like that. Something that's going to give you a bit of energy, especially when you're kind of lagging through the second half of the game. And again, keeping topped up with water, sipping away. Don't guzzle at it because the last thing you want is water sloshing around in your belly. But just sip away. Post game, this is when you want to be looking at getting protein back in there, so protein and carbohydrates mixed together. So if you want to be really efficient, then within half an hour or so of the game, you can look at having, say, like a protein shake with a handful of raisins or something like that, or banana, because it is shown that when protein and carbs are mixed straight after exercise, it can help refuel your muscles quicker than just carbohydrates on their own. So, and then within a few hours after the game, you want to be looking at taking on quite a high, relatively high protein, relatively high carbohydrate, but again, keep those fats down, save them till later on after the game, because again, this is just going to help replenish the energy lost in your muscles, and then the protein is going to help rebuild your muscles as well. So this becomes really, really important, especially if you have games back to back. So, say you have a game on the Saturday and a game on the Sunday. This is when the timing and the timing of the food going in is a lot more important than just say if you had one game every Saturday and you weren't playing again or training again until later in the week. So with having said about meal timing and stuff and saying it's not so important, but maybe if we're training on the Thursday and then we've got a game on a Saturday, things might become a bit more important then. So you might want to schedule a more carbohydrates in that kind of Thursday after training through Friday and Saturday morning for your game, or say you have a couple of training sessions through the week as well. You are more active, so you do need more carbohydrates to help fuel your muscles. You also need protein to help rebuild your muscles. If you're achy and the next day you're like, oh man, you just can't move, you're stiff and achy. One, you've not cooled down properly. Two, you've not got enough food in your body to help replenish and rebuild your body. So they're two things that you could do with looking at, especially if you're playing multiple sports, or if you have training in the morning, training in the afternoon, and then games the next day or something. It becomes really, really important to really start focusing on your nutrient timing and stuff like that, just so you get the best out of your body. If you don't care and you don't want to perform the best you possibly can, then ignore everything I've just said.